Good day, everyone. This is Ernie Kish from the Kish Cash Fund, and we're going to give a recap of our trade on Friday, June the 17th of 2011. But before we do that, we just like to take a look at the spider, and we see here is our. Let me get my pen up and working here. And let's see, we've got our Friday here. This was a gap and crap day, what I would call a gap and crap day. If we looked at this on a 5-minute chart, it started off right here, and then it ended right here. And of course, with this little trailer here, this was the low of the day, right there on the candlestick chart. We really love our candlestick charts, and they're not that hard to fathom. We'll give a candlestick chart lesson perhaps somewhere along the line, or just go to Steve Nissen and candlestick charts. Tony Turner does a good job describing candlesticks and whatnot. But to get back to where we're at, all right, it was the European markets were down on that Friday. Well, actually, they gapped down and started going up. The Asian markets were all down, and of course we gapped up and came down. Here's our downtrend that we're experiencing in the market right now, and I say the market in general. Some things do go up a little bit during the downtrend, and of course you've got still some up days here. Here was an up day. You've got this, but for the most part, it looks like the short side would be the side to be on if we're looking at this chart. And so that's what we decided to do on our Friday trade, and we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, here is our daily chart of Axel, and this is the stock that we did decide to trade on Friday. We had a lot of fun trading Axel. We've been watching it for the last 2 years, so we feel that we it's at least our friend anyway. You know, we've been going out now for the last couple of years, and we've studied each other quite a bit and kind of know what's going on. But you never know. Like even with your best friend, they can always fool you and whatnot. But we were looking at this. Even though we thought, you know, things are downtrending a little bit, let's take a look at this. A couple of days ago on Wednesday, we had a trade. This would be the Wednesday one right here, and our Friday, our spinning top. We got a spinning top here. We had in a previous presentation, we said, hey, let's take a look at this. Even though it's been beaten down, we're looking at an ascending triangle. And the reason why it is ascending is it's banging up against its resistance area, the 1031, 1033 Fibonacci line. This one right here goes back to a 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. So if it does pop up above the 1033, 1031, then it may go up from there. But on the following day, we were kind of watching it, see if it might do it on that day. It did not. And of course we said, well, it doesn't have to. I mean, it can go down, but the signs were there. If it gets to this and there's strong volume and whatnot, it'll pop up. The following day, though, it died on us, spinning top die, and not too bad, but it's like it's a little lower, and then the following day on Friday she's up a little bit. On Friday the Axel went against the spider for the most of the day, or at least held some ground while the spider was losing. So what that means exactly is I don't know. I'm confused on that one. But we did trade Axel on Friday. We did short it, and let's get down to a 5-minute and the nitty-gritty on that. Okay, here's our 5-minute chart of Axel, and again, it was a gap up day, meaning the spider closed higher and Axel closed higher than it did the day before. So we're going to come into this day a little bit higher, starting a little bit higher. Here's our close line here. This yellow line is where we closed the previous day. So we gapped up. We went up here a little bit. Now we're watching this at this point because we think it's probably going to come down, go up, find a high, and then come down. So we were looking for that. We had some pivot point retracements, or not retrace, but pivot points plotted out on a separate piece of paper. Sorry, I'm not showing those right now, but it's interesting to note that the pivot point that we said targeted to short here was at $10.22. Actually, we thought it might go higher than that, and we were going to get a confirmation as it came down and shorted at 10.22, and then we were going to buy to cover at 9.94. That was the plan. But look what happened here. We kind of, the 10.22 was okay, but the high of the day was only 10.25. The high of the day occurred right here. So had we shorted it somewhere around in there, that would have been okay. However, we were looking at a 9.94 to buy to cover. That never happened. It never got that low. I will show you where we did buy to cover, and we bought to cover at 108 a little later on. So that would have been in through here. We could have bought to cover here, anywhere in here, or here. We decided to buy to cover in here, right in this one here. So yeah, it was a green day, a positive trade for us. We did go with the trend. We thought it might do a little bit better than that. However, we're happy enough. And just to let you know, just to show you that the spider did end on end in the red, so it did come down for the most part for the day. Axle came down, then went up, and then went down a little bit, went sideways, and then ended up. So very strange in a way that it didn't follow the spider. It did actually make 11 cents rather than the spider ended up 25 cents on the low side. So this one was just one that had it did follow for the most part, but it had still had a mind of its own. That's the way that is. I'm going to bring up a chart of NVIDIA. That's just another stock that we've been watching, and that had an interesting day on Friday also. All right, this is a daily chart of NVIDIA. We like looking at NVIDIA. It has a nice range to trade in during the day. You can find a dollar or more sometimes range in NVIDIA, so plenty of place to get in and out on a day trade. And we can show a little bit better when we come up to the 5-minute chart on this, but this was a definite gap and crap. We opened up here at the high on Friday, and we've got a low trailer down here, and we closed at 1580 right here. So I think at the bottom we were around $15.31. I happened to see that on the screen at 15.31. It went to 15.41. I said, I think that's on its way back up. But I was in the Axle trade at the time and wanted to watch that closely, so I didn't open up another position. But we do play NVIDIA every now and then. It does move a lot faster at times than Axle. So I do enjoy playing Axle because it, being an older gentleman and enjoying not having to, like be on top of things a whole lot and have that mouse in my hand and being ready to, to click. Axle allows me to take my time a little bit more. It does move a little bit slower, but NVIDIA is a great stock to watch. Let me bring up a 5-minute chart for us all to take a look see at. Okay, and here's our 5-minute chart of NVIDIA. Okay, so here we gapped up with the spider in the morning, and there's a play that John Carter talks about. It's when things gap up, there's a contrary move that you can go ahead and short this thing right from the get-go. I don't like doing that. I like a little confirmation because I don't want things to go against me right from the get-go. a little bit. So if there's a confirmation on this, and there was a nice one had I been watching this a little bit closer, but my eyes again were on the Axel trade. But this was a great one to short right from the get-go, or if you wanted your confirmation, you would have got it somewhere in through here within these few minutes, and then said, I think it is coming down, and then you would have taken it down to a certain point. And if you're about to cover down here, this was kind of like a nice point to buy the 1531 buy to cover. And then, of course, it did turn around, and I would go ahead and buy it back here. Of course, we're all Monday morning quarterbacking here because it makes it a lot easier to do that way. But if you were to plot your pivot points, I'm sure that you would come out with very similar conclusions as this, and we'll plot some pivot points on NVIDIA for the day, and maybe do a presentation for Monday on an NVIDIA trade for the day. So, all right. So we're not just watching and playing Axel. We look at other stocks, but one of the things that we don't want to do is have too many that we're looking at. You want to pick some stocks for yourself that you like for whatever reason, and then study those few and become an expert on those few. There's like over 9,000 stocks out there, and if you are a genius enough to have a handle on a bigger basket of stuff that you're watching, that's great. For myself, I look at some broad market stuff like the Spider to get an indication on what's going on, and then I'll pull up some individual major stocks like IBM or Dow Chemical, some big ones, and see what they're doing, and they give you an idea which way the market is headed. So I just want to say we're having a lot of fun. I hope that these are interesting and maybe fun for you to watch. I hope that you're getting some ideas if you're playing in the market. That maybe something that you see here, not so much with the stock perhaps, but maybe the ideas of how we're looking and charting these stocks. You can look at your own stocks and put in your own Fibonacci's and your own pivot points, and come up with your best plan to trade with. But to trade without a plan is dangerous, so that's why we want to go into a trade with a definite plan in mind. So with that, I wish everyone a great week of trading, a great day on Monday out there, and keep, like Tony would say, keep green on your screen, and have a great day, everyone. Let's make some money. All right, God bless. Have a great day. Bye bye.